Good morning, YouTube. Welcome to the video. I hope you're doing well. I've been thinking recently about priorities and productivity and efficiency, and really what's become kind of an epidemic in our society, and that is that most people don't really do the things that they want to do on a regular basis with the time that they have. Now, the epidemic part is really that, people always feel that there isn't enough time in their day or enough time to do the things that they really want to do. And you see this both like in people's personal lives, but also in business settings. I mean, for business, there's been recent studies on people's productivity in the workplace, and some figures were saying that in an 8-hour work period, the average person's only productive for about 3 hours. And so, right throughout the corporate ladder, right up to the top, you see that, there's this arbitrary 9 to 5. I mean, it wasn't made for, some scientific reason or anything like that. It was just a period that people could show up and do work. But, if a 40-hour work week is getting broken down to 15 hours of actual work, I mean, what are people, doing? Like, what are the companies doing paying people? What are people doing with all that time? And to look at that on a personal level, people often procrastinate or have a hard time saying no to things, and that ends up consuming a lot of their time. And so what you see is that, the more that people can't say no, the more they procrastinate on things just because they feel overwhelmed and they can't do all these things that they want to do. And then, that leads to even more time wasting in that, people will plan on going out at night and they'll stay out really late, and they wake up later the next day and there's just not time to do the things they want to do, and they're always trying to put off the next task because they have this big list of things built up that they have to do before they can actually get to the things that they want to do. And that's where prioritizing comes in deciding, like, what are the things you actually need to do to sustain the lifestyle you have, and what things, are really extra or are unnecessary. And that's the part of where people get caught up in this loop, in some cases a debt loop, but really spending money unnecessarily and spending money on stupid things that really increase your expenses, which, causes people to have to go to work, to have to work long hours to pay for these bills. People are really in charge of their expenditures, and the things that are necessary in their life that actually bring value to them. If your expenses are at a low level, well, then you don't need to work as much. I mean, really, how much do people need? People probably spend, I would guess, 3 or 4 times more than what's actually, providing their baseline of happiness and providing for their needs like that. But again, people get caught up in, keeping up with the Joneses, in that always needing to buy the things that everyone has, regardless of if they actually make you personally happy. And it all kind of spirals from there. So you have your super high expenses. It means you have to work a lot. It means that you can't say no to certain things, or at least you think you can't say no to certain things. Then all of a sudden, all your time's taken up. And then the next thing you know, you're always looking to escape your lifestyle that you have, and trying to find extra time in the day, and all the while complaining that you have this long list of tasks that you have to get through, and that you can't actually do the things that you want to do, whether it be go on a vacation or hang out with your family or just have free time with your friends on a weekday. So that's really where it comes down to controlling your expenses, determining what's my break even, what do I need to earn to pay for things that actually make me happy, and then prioritizing things that work towards that support your long-term goals while also paying for stuff in the short term. But then really deciding how else do you want to spend the rest of your time. And so is it working on all these different projects, or would you rather hang out with your friends and family? Like, it's really subjective to what people want, but I think a lot of people aren't happy with the ways that they spend their time, and just reassessing the big picture of their life, seeing where their money's going, seeing where their time's going, and almost hitting reset on it and building back up from the start. So yeah, looking again at businesses, it's just something that I think came from an individual level, But like I said, that keeping up with the Joneses effect is really what causes it, in that, you know, businesses, you know, need to employ this many people because you need this many hours and all these different departments and things. And that's where, you know, certain entrepreneurs can succeed so easily, is because you really don't need to put in that much time if you're good at what you're doing, considering the average worker puts in 3 hours of productivity in an 8-hour shift. So, you know, the bar really isn't as high as people think it is. And then, you know, when you find out what that time threshold is and you're actually good at what you're doing, well, then it's not the biggest benchmark in the world to beat. But, you know, that's kind of what I've been thinking about, is, you know, prioritizing your life, deciding what are the things that you want to spend your money on, what are the things that you want to spend your time on, and really doing those things, because that's what, you know, makes us the happiest ultimately. And yeah, I think that's about it. So thank you for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, leaving a like would help me out tremendously, and I will see you in the next one. Peace out.